Well, my name is Joe Cavallaro, and I'm going to prepare you to be in that session. All right, I'm going to be your host today. I've been trading, like Renee said, I've been trading since 1995. I've been trading with Josh and the Market Traders Institute since 2014. Okay, and listen, when it came to MTI, all right, I did pretty much the same thing that you're doing today. Okay, you heard there was an opportunity in the Forex market, and just like you, what did I do? I came to check it out, right? I did the same thing that you're doing today. I did it 3 years ago. I looked into this group and I looked into the Forex, and I came here and I basically asked Josh directly, all right, to show it to me, okay, to mentor me on the ins and outs of this Forex thing and how it worked. And long story short, all right, what he showed me was that this was easier, all right, way easier than anything I'd been doing before. I've been a stock trader, okay, and I knew that area pretty well, but I had very little knowledge of the Forex market. And if that sounds like you, that's okay, because that means we're singing off the same sheet of music, all right? But I found out here that when it came to the Forex, all right, it was easy enough to get started, all right, quickly. It didn't require a whole lot of capital to get started, but most important, the method, all right, that Josh showed me for doing this, it flat out worked, okay, to the point where it wasn't just good returns, okay, it was consistent returns with low risk, and that's what everybody's looking for, right? Well, I've been through the training here, okay, and I can translate that to you right now, and by the time we're done, right, in about 75 minutes, okay, you're gonna know flat out more about making money in the Forex market than 99% of the people on this planet. Okay, I'm going to turn you into a Forex trader in the next hour because I'm going to show you that formula and you're going to have that to use. Okay, that's going to be a strong takeaway that you have from our time together. So make sure you got a piece of paper and a pen, and we're going to jump into the market so that you can see stuff happening right up to the minute. All right, I'll get you set up. I'll show you exactly how to enter a trade, how to exit a trade. All right, I'll get you set up for trading this week, and I'll show you how to use target trading so that even if you're brand new, all right, to the Forex market, you can use it, all right, starting this week to capture some immediate profit potential. And as we go through this, listen, all right, if you say to yourself, well, I'm going through this, you know what, that works, that's strong, right? I want to get that on my desk. Well, at the end, here's what I'll do. If this makes sense to you, okay, when we're done, what I'll do is I'll invite you to come and work with our group, okay, for the next 60 days at our expense so that you can try out and test out everything I'm showing you to make sure that it works. Does that sound fair enough? Okay, that's what we're going to do today. So you know a little bit about me. Great. You know a little bit about MTI. Now let's get you up to speed on the Forex market. Let's dive right into it because look, the Forex market out of all the markets is going to give you 4 huge advantages. Okay, you've got to pick the market that gives you the best chance of making money. Well, look at the Forex market gives you 4 huge advantages. Write these down: liquidity, flexibility, size, and simplicity. Let's get right into it. Okay, we'll take these one at a time very quickly. All right, liquidity. Why is that an advantage? Well, that word, that sounds like a fancy word, okay, but liquidity very simply means that you can move in and out of a market easily. All right, this is the most liquid market on the planet because there is always a buyer and there's always a seller, and you can get in or out of the Forex market in 1 second or less just by pushing a button on your computer. Anytime you want to take your investment off the table, all right, you can do that in 1 second or less. Why? Because this market is so liquid. Now, why is that important, gang? Because with that liquidity, that lowers your risk, okay? And low risk is a major consideration for anybody that's investing, all right? This is the most liquid market that there is. Let's take the next one, all right? Flexibility. Listen, all right, all the markets offer opportunity. I know this. I've traded them all right? You can make money in all the markets. That just makes sense, right? If someone comes up to you and says, you can make money in stocks, right? Or you can make money in options. Well, of course you can, all right? But all the other markets have specific trading hours, all right? They open in the morning, they close in the afternoon. And because they do, sometimes, okay, it's hard for people like you to be able to adjust to those hours. Maybe you live in a different time zone, right? We all have a busy schedule, okay? And even if you want to trade those other markets, okay, sometimes it's just hard to do because the times aren't convenient. And some of you know what I mean, right? You got to set an alarm like for 2 in the morning just to be able to trade certain markets because you live in a different time zone. Well, with the Forex, listen, it's flexible because the Forex is open 6 days a week, 24 hours a day. Write this down, okay? It's open from Sunday at 5 Eastern time, and it's open round the clock, okay, until Friday at 5 Eastern time. Now you got Saturday off, but any other time the market's open, which means what? That means, gang, you can trade this market whenever you want, okay? And that flexibility is a huge benefit. It's one of the main reasons individuals are flocking to the Forex market because they don't have to be tied to some other schedule, right? Or turn their life upside down in order to be able to trade it. So that's a major benefit. My favorite one is the next one, size, okay? This is the biggest market on the planet, all right? Whether you know it or not, this is a $5 trillion with a T dollar a day market. It is bigger than all the other markets put together, okay? This is what I call the big pile of money, okay? Everybody asks me, hey, Joe, where's that big pile of money? Right? Let's go find it together. Let's go looking for the big pile. Well, guess what, gang? You found the big pile of money. All right. This is it. This is a currency market. This is all the money, all right, in the world. All right. So now that you've found the big pile of money, what do you have to do? You're standing right next to it. Well, you want to be a trader, right? You want to reach into the pile and pull out a handful consistently. Okay. And it's not that hard to do. The last one here, simplicity. Listen, a lot of people think, well, if this is like the stock market, right, I'm going to have to learn how to follow different market sectors, right? Or I got to follow 300 companies if I'm going to be any good at it. Well, in this market, gang, you don't have to do all that. Why? All you pretty much have to know, all right, to get started really is the names of the major currencies. Now, if you know them, great. All right. If you don't, write them down. Let me put them up on the screen here. Write these down because this is what you're going to be trading. Okay. You're going to be trading the major currencies, the US dollar and the Canadian, the euro and the pound, the yen, the franc, the Aussie, and the Kiwi. This is what you're going to trade in the currency market. That's the list. All right. Now, what you need to know is this. Currencies, follow me on this. Keep writing stuff down. All right. You're very close. All right. Currencies trade in what we call pairs. All right, they trade one against the other. And anytime you see a currency pair, it's going to be followed by a number. That number is called the exchange rate. All right, and that's a number or a word, I should say, that's familiar probably to all of you. Because why? Because you've been traveling, right? Or you've been to the bank or you've been to the airport. Okay, you've seen an exchange rate before, right? One of those exchange booths. And as soon as you see this information, all right, you already know what it means. Right? It means you can do what? It means you can trade one currency for the other at the going rate. You can hand over €1, right? And they're going to hand you back about $1.11 US, right? They'll hand you back dollars at the going rate. If you know that, all right, all I got to do is add a little bit of information here so you understand what it means to be a trader. All right, all we're doing, it couldn't be any simpler, all right, is we trade exchange rates. We trade movements in the exchange rate, okay? Exchange rates are constantly going up and down. Well, that's what we trade, okay? We trade exchange rates for profit. And whether they go up or they go down, all right, we can make money on this in either direction, all right? Let's keep going. I'll show you exactly what I mean, all right? Most people, when they look at an exchange rate, right, most people just talk about these in terms of dollars and cents, okay? But traders in the Forex, here's what we do. We look a little bit further to the right, to these last 2 decimal places, all right? Those are called the pips. You want to write that down. PIP stands for price interest point. Tiny little movements, all right, in the exchange rate, way over here at the 3rd and 4th decimal place, all right? That's what we as traders are looking to capture, all right? We're looking to capture pips, all right, those tiny movements, as many of those pips as possible. Here, let me just show you how it works. All right, this will make sense to you. All right, if you've ever done even one trade before at all right, this is going to make sense to you quickly. Let's just say we've got a currency pair, all right, the euro and the US dollar. All right, let's just say the exchange rate, for example, on this is 111.05. Now, during the course of the day, All right, we might have a strong euro or we might have a weak dollar. Well, if that's the case, what's going to happen? Well, that's going to move my little seesaw here. That's going to move my exchange rate. In this case, it'll move it higher. Now, if it should go from 111.05, like it is on the screen, right, up to 111.95. You see that? Well, that's a difference of 90 pips. All right, there they are at the third and fourth decimal place. All right, that's where the pips are. So now what? Well, now you know where to find them. Great. How do you capture them? Well, that's where you come in. All right, you've got to do at this point what traders do. All right, you got to have a Forex trading account and you'll do what traders do, right? You'll buy low and you'll sell high. Okay, now somebody just asked me in the question box, where do I get a trading account? Okay, let me cover that very quickly. All right, because that's a good question. All right, we're not a broker. Okay, so you're not going to have an account with our group. We're traders. Okay, we're educators, we're software developers, we're analysts. All right, we're going to trade with you, but we're not going to hold any of your money. All right, that's it. If you want to trade Forex though, you got to have a Forex trading account with a broker. Now we can help you with that. All right, in fact, at the end, I can point you in the right direction, but there's nothing to it. If you ever opened up a stock trading account before, like with TD Ameritrade or Merrill Lynch or Fidelity or one of these, this is going to be the same process. It'll take you about 5 minutes, all right, to open up an account. All the brokers have a website, right? All their stuff is compatible, right? Connects directly with our software. And if you got questions on that, listen, at the end, all right, we can point you in the right direction. That's part of what we do here. All right, we'll even show you how you can open up a demo account, okay, so that you can sort of get your feet wet in real time, all right, with everything that I'm showing you today. You can get comfortable with it without risking any of your money, okay? But you're gonna open that account so that you can do what? Well, you're gonna buy low and sell high. Now look, all right, I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, all right? Because yeah, you buy low and sell high, but you're gonna follow a formula, okay? You're gonna protect your downside, all right? But the goal is to capture these pips. Fair enough? Because look, this is a repeatable exercise, all right? This is a repeatable exercise right here. And how many pips you capture, okay? How many pips you end up collecting, okay? It's gonna come down to two things. You ready for this? It's gonna come down to how well your stuff works, obviously, okay? But it's also gonna come down to how confident you are in using it, all right? Let's talk like traders for just a minute, because I'll tell you what, I'm gonna help you today, all right? And the fact of the matter is, look, the more confident you are, the more money you're gonna make, all right? Confidence is always gonna determine two things: how much money you put into a trade and how much you take out of it. Does that make sense? All right, let me show you what I mean. All right, somebody just asked me a question. Well, how much money do I need to trade? All right, let's cover that. Because when you trade, okay, in the Forex market, you got a couple of different options. All right, you can trade with what's called a micro lot, a mini lot, or a standard lot. And yes, I know I'm going quickly, but I have to, because I got a limited amount of time. Just keep pressing forward. We're gonna do some examples of this. All right, a micro lot, a mini lot, or a standard lot. Okay, which one of these you trade is gonna be up to you. All right, but see where you can sort of figure out where you fit in here. All right, with a micro lot, what is that going to require of you in terms of investment? Well, when you trade micro lots, that's a $20 trade. All right, a $20 investment. All right, that's it. Now, somebody might say, well, $20, what can I really do with that? Well, in any other market, all right, you can't do a whole lot with $20, right? If you got $20 in the stock market, what can you do? You can buy one share of something, right? Maybe 2 shares of something, okay? It's not gonna get you anywhere. But in the currency market, that's one of the most beautiful things about it, all right, is you don't need a lot of money to trade it. In fact, a $20 trade, gang, gets your foot in the door here, all right? A $20 trade gets you started. In fact, you know, some people wanna poo-poo that, right? What can I really do with $20? Well, actually, you can do a lot with $20, all right? Start with $20, that's the right thing to do, all right? You start small so that what? Well, with a small amount of your money, you can figure out a lot of stuff. Like what? Well, like if you know what you're doing, okay? Like if your formula works, right? With $20, you can figure out if your technique is good before you go risking larger amounts. But here's what's gonna happen, all right? It's just gonna be very natural. Once you see on a small amount of money that your formula works, well, then what you're gonna be able to do is step it out a little bit, All right, and that's where things will start to be a little bit more substantial. You're going to start by trading micro lots, but then what will happen is you'll step up to trading mini lots. All right, micro lots is step one. All right, mini lots is step two. Now, what do you need for a mini lot? Well, that's a $200 trade. Still not a whole lot of money. All right, but it's another step forward. Okay, and what's going to happen naturally? All right, is you're going to end up stepping up to where you want to be. Right, and that's trading standard lots of currency. And I want you to circle that one on your paper. All right, for that one, what do you need? Gang, you need $2,000. All right, and understand that is a goal. That's where you want to get to, is trading standard lots of currency. So circle that one on your paper. All right, and I don't know where you personally fit on this little graph here. All right, you're probably trying to figure that out as we go. But no matter how you do this, all right, you don't need a lot of money. In fact, I'm going to tell you that if you got $2,000, okay, in trading capital in the Forex market, that's all you will ever need, okay? So now what? Now you know the investment part, all right? Now what? What does it all mean in terms of dollars? What does it mean in terms of money in your pocket? Well, that's actually very simple, all right? When you trade micro lots, now write this down, each of those pips that you collect is going to be worth 10 cents. All right, 10 cents. So in the trade you just saw a minute ago, what did we do? We traded the euro, we made 90 pips. Okay, well, 90 pips times 10 cents, that'd be what? $9. All right, on a $20 investment. So what is that? 9 over 20, that's 45%. Okay, that's a nice percentage, right? No, it's not a lot of money, right? It's $9, right? What can you do with that? You go buy a sandwich, okay? But that 45%, think about that. If that's something that is repeatable, in other words, if that's something you can do over and over again, well, you and I both know that you're not going to be trading small for very long, at which point, and again, very naturally, you'll step up to trading mini lots, and that's where things start to get just a little bit more meaningful, okay? Because now what? Well, when you trade those, the pips are worth $1 a piece, okay? So what you got to be aware of is this. The trade itself is going to stay the same. You're always going to trade for those pips. That trade we did on the euro, everything would be identical, okay? You made 90 pips worth of profit. But at $1 a piece, all right, now you're making $90, all right? Do that a couple of times a week, and what happens? By the end of the month, you're at least making a car payment, okay? You understand it means something at that point, all right? But the reason I told you to circle this last one here on your paper, okay, is because when you trade standard lots of currency, all right, that's where you want to get to, because when you trade those, the pips are worth $10, gang, all right? And I know you already did the math, right? 90 pips times 10 is what? $900, okay? On a $2,000 investment. And there's only so many places that you can even talk like that, all right? But this is one of them, all right? And I know what you're thinking, $900, that looks pretty good. You're right, okay? You do that once a week, and what happens, right? You can pretty much pay all your bills by the end of the month. But the fact of the matter is, you need to know two things when it comes to that, right? You need to know, number one, what? How often does that really happen? Well, I'll show you that happens in every currency every single day, all right? 90 pips, I can show you that, no problem, all right? The opportunity is certainly there. So then what's your other question? Well, what's the downside? Right? Anybody can show me, right? $900, right? You get that all the time. Come to the webinar, right? $900. But how do I protect my downside? Well, I'm going to show you that too, okay? Because this has to make sense to you, all right? If you're going to do it, right, the formula has to work to protect your downside too. So we're going to go through this whole thing from A to Z. We're going to go live in the market, and in less than an hour, okay, with what I'm going to show you, I'm going to turn you into a Forex trader. All right, you came here with the idea of doing what? Making some money. Can I say that out loud? All right, is that why you came here? If it is, I want you to type yes in the chat box, okay? Because now you're there. You understand the fundamentals of this, all right? And I know you've been thinking about the money part. Nobody comes to you know, a webinar. Nobody logs in, all right, without some goals in mind, all right? So I know you've been thinking about this, and everybody's a little different, okay? Some of you might be here trying to make an extra 500 or 1,000 a month. Great, I can show you that. Okay, some of you might want to do what I said earlier, make an extra 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 a month, right? I can show you that too. Okay, I'm retired, Joe. I need some income. That sounds pretty good then, right? 3,000 a month, right? My kids are in high school. I need some money for college, right? I want to replace my income. I want to be a full-time trader, all right? Whatever the case is, you want to make some extra money, okay? And 3, 4, 5,000 a month, you know, it might not sound like a lot, but just add that to whatever you're doing right now, and I know that that number is going to change your life. All right, you make an extra 3,000 a month. That'll let you do a lot of things. You can upgrade your car, right? You can fix stuff that's broke around your house. It'll give you some room to breathe at the very least. So here's what I'm going to tell you. That's what we do here. Okay, that's what we do here. Now, this is not a plan, and I need you to know this ahead of time. For you to be a millionaire by next Thursday, all right? The get rich quick thing, that gets old very quickly for you and for me, all right? I don't do get rich quick, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Most of our students, all right, whether they're new or whether they got a little experience, when they come here, they're looking to make between 3, 4, 5,000 a month. And I know that's something I can help you with. All right, around here, that's not just possible, that's common. We got students that make $10, $20, $50,000 a month consistently. All right, so between 3 and 5,000, that I can do. All right, that's a reasonable goal, especially if you're new. But here's the $1 million question. Okay, I need to know very quickly how committed you are to that. What do I mean? Everybody's going to tell me I'm committed, right? But what does that mean? Right? Everybody's committed to making some money, right? But let's define that just a little bit. All right, if I can show you, this is a serious question. I want you to type your answer in the chat box. If I can show you some things that work, okay, so you can make 3, 4, 5,000 a month, every month. All right, the way I figure it is, if you're really committed to this, then you'd be willing to put aside 30 minutes a day for it. Okay, so I guess I'm going to ask the question. If I can show you something that works, would you set aside 30 minutes a day for this? Type your answer in the chat box, because if you can commit 30 minutes a day, gang, I can help you. All right. If you can't put 30 minutes a day aside, I can't help you. All right. It's pretty much that simple. All right. So I'll wait for you to type your answer. And let me tell you, look, I like doing webinars. All right. I like people going to look for ideas. But you and I both know that the bag of money isn't going to fall from the sky. You have to do something. All right. This is an active exercise, and I'm not going to waste your time. All right. I'm going to do my part. All right, I'm going to show you something that works. Look at all my yes answers. Okay, yes, I'll give you an hour, somebody said. Yes, yes, yes. Somebody said no. Well, no problem. All right, what did I say earlier? Forex isn't for everybody, and it's okay. All right, the Forex is definitely not going to be for all of you, but you're here to make a decision on it. All right, so I've got to show you something that works so you can make a good decision on it. Fair enough? Most of you say you're committed, so that's great. And I know you're committed, gang, because you showed up. Okay, you came here. Well, that's more than half the battle. So now let me fill in the other half. I can't wait to do it. All right, let's go live. I'm going to show this to you right now. And anytime you've got a question, okay, type it in the chat box. I'm going to do my best to get to it. I anticipate most questions. All right, so I'm going to include most of that in the body of the presentation. Okay, if I don't get to your question and you want to talk after so we can dot I's and cross T's together, type a phone number in the chat box and we'll have a personal conversation for real. I don't mind doing that. Okay, if you need some clarity on what it is that I'm going to show you. But if what I do show you makes sense, all right, and you want to get it on your desk today, let me know that, because you're going to be able to try it out and make sure that all this works. Okay, let's go live though, because we are about 3 minutes behind schedule, and I got to show you this. This is the star of the show. Okay, this is what we call ultimate charting software. This is our proprietary piece. Now, I know you've seen software before. What makes yours so great, right? You've seen the red light and the green light one and so forth. Me too. Okay, but here's what you need to know about this. Every one of our students, all right, 32,000 of them, they've already got this on their desk. Okay, every one of the traders here, myself, Josh, Tyson, Jose, Gary, we've all got this on our desk as well, so that when we get together in our webinars, in our trading environment, we're all looking at the same thing. Okay, some of you, I recognize your names. You've already got this, right? You're in your trial period, whatever it is, right? And there's those of you that don't have it. Don't worry about it, right? You're going to get it on your desk today so you can try it out. All right. But what you need to do right now is follow me, because I'm going to show you what all the buttons do so you can use this thing to your advantage. All right. Now, what makes our software work so well? I'm going to explain that. Okay. We believe this is the best tool in the world for trading the Forex market. I'm going to tell you why. Because no matter what currency you're looking at, here, we got a bunch of different ones up on the screen. The New Zealand, the Australian, there's the pound, there's the New Zealand again, the euro. All right. No matter what currency you're looking at, listen, no matter what time frame you're looking at, all right, this program is so valuable because it answers the 3 questions that you have to answer every single time you trade. What are those 3 questions? You've got to know, number 1, which way is the market going? You've got to know the direction. Are we going up or down? Right? If you know that, that's a major advantage. For going up, you trade in the upward direction. Does that make sense? All right. But this goes a step further than that. Okay. It'll also tell you exactly where and why you're going to get into your trade. Okay. And then probably most important, it's going to tell you where and why you're going to get out. Okay. Now, what makes our program work so well? Listen. It's actually the market. All right. It's the Forex market itself that makes our program work so well. What do I mean? Okay, the Forex, I told you, is different than any other market. Why? Because, gang, this market repeats itself. Write this down. The Forex market is different because it does the same thing over and over and over again. All right? This market repeats itself. You're going to use that to your advantage because this market develops patterns. Now, listen, we're going to read some patterns right now. We're going to read some charts right now. Okay, using these blue and white things on the chart called candlesticks. Now, most of you have at least looked at a chart before. I don't need to get into a big dissertation about candlesticks. I like to keep things simple because it is. Okay, when we look at patterns, all right, in the Forex market, the Forex market always moves in what's called ABCD patterns. Write that down. Okay, the Forex moves in repeating ABCD patterns. Let me show you what I mean here. We're going to start right over here on the left of the screen at this low price. All right, this will be the beginning of our pattern. I'm going to call that letter A. That's the beginning, right? What happens here? Well, what happens is the market rallies nice and strong all the way up to a high price. Well, I'm going to call that letter B. Okay, then what happens? Well, then the market stops going up, right? And it pulls back, right? It fades down here to a low price. I'm going to call that letter C. Before what? Before the market rallies all the way up to a high price, letter D. Do you see that? It's actually pretty easy to read the charts. When you see white candles, what's happening? The market's going up. When you see blue candles, what's happening? The market's going down, right? The market never goes straight up and it never goes straight down, right? It always moves in these waves, in these patterns. And if you've seen that before, you're off to a good start. What you've got to do is be able to identify the patterns. Now, once a pattern ends, A, B, C, D, what happens is, right, market does the same thing, right from this point, starts a new pattern. At that high price, now we're going to call that letter A, the beginning of a fresh pattern. Then the market fades down to a low price. That's going to be letter B, okay? Then what happens? The market rallies nice and strong to a high price. That's letter C. Then what happens? It just about falls apart all the way down here to a low price. So listen, you don't have to be an expert to be able to see that, but I need to know that you can. So what I want you to do right now is this. If you can see these waves, all right, if you can see these patterns, just do me a favor, all right, type ABCD in the chat box. Come on, I'm turning you into a trader right now. All right, and I just need to know that you're following along. This is the meat, all right, this is the potatoes. This is getting you ready to learn that formula. So type ABCD if you can see, right, those 2 patterns. Can you see them? ABCD, right? I'm going to get a sip of water while you do that. All right. Keep taking good notes. Good. All right. ABCD. You all can see it. Okay. Well, here's what you need to know. ABCD. Good. Thank you, Gretel. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, John. Thank you, Muhammad and Ahmed. Wow. All right. Lots of you are responding. Perfect. 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 All right, what you need to know is this. A lot of people look at a chart, gang, and they think all this is random. It's not random. Do you realize, gang, that these patterns are not random? They're actually natural. And my favorite word, they're predictable. What do you mean? Predictable? Are you telling me that your little chart here, right, can tell me where the market's going next? Because if it can, I'm going to get that. Right? I know most of us have been looking 10, 20 years to find something that'll predict where the market's going next. Okay, so I put the word predictable on the screen. That gets your attention, but what you want to know is it real? Well, there's actually a tool in here, gang, that can measure these patterns. Not only will I show you that these patterns are purely natural, but with the tool I'm about to show you, all right, you're going to see that you can use it to predict the market. All right, what's that tool called? Some of you probably heard of this before. Okay. That tool that's built into the program called the Fibonacci tool. Ah, there's a familiar term, right? Fibonacci tool. right? Based on what? Something called the Fibonacci sequence. Those of you who have heard of this before, good, right? Let me let everybody else get caught up. I'll give you a little background on this, okay? The Fibonacci tool, right? That's built into our program that measures the patterns, right? It's based on something called the Fibonacci sequence. Now, what's that all about? Well, it's actually, who's that about, right? Who? Fibonacci, okay, was an Italian mathematician, okay, 13th century, very famous because he came up with a sequence of numbers, right, called the Fibonacci sequence that can be used to measure everything, okay, in nature. If you Google this when we're done, read up on it. It's fascinating stuff, right? They actually call the Fibonacci sequence nature's numbering system because it can be used to measure everything. Because here's what Fibonacci figured out. He figured out that everything follows a natural and, keyword, predictable pattern, okay? And all you got to do to measure it is use his sequence of numbers. Let me show you what I mean. All right, show you something from nature. Here's a fish, okay? Most of you have seen a fish before. Let me zoom in on this fish, okay? See how the fish is made up of scales? Now, if I said to you right now, how many scales are on the fish, okay? What would you do to try and figure that out? You try to count them all one at a time so that you could give me an answer. Well, here's what you need to know, gang. That's not a random number. Look, those scales are in rows. Those are in columns. That's not random. That's a pattern. Okay, it's a natural pattern. And if you put the Fibonacci sequence right on that fish, it will tell you exactly how many scales are on that fish. No kidding? No kidding, all right? That's how it works. And it works on everything. Look, here's a flower, okay? Zoom in on the flower. What's it made up of? Petals, okay? If I said to you, how many petals are on the flower? What could you do? Try and count them all one at a time. But no. That's not a random number, okay? That's a natural pattern. And if you put the Fibonacci sequence on that flower, it will tell you exactly how many petals are on it. Look, this works on everything. It works on architecture. See that? That's not just a flight of stairs. It's a Fibonacci sequence. So are you. What do you mean? Well, look, you've seen this diagram before, right? The Fibonacci diagram of the human body, okay? We use this to measure our symmetry. Do you realize if you tell me how long your arms are, I can tell you exactly how long your legs are. How? Because that's a natural pattern, gang. I'll just use the Fibonacci sequence. It works on everything. Your arms, your legs, the shape of your ear, all right? Everything follows a natural pattern, and you use the Fibonacci sequence to measure it. Now, you might say, well, this is all very fascinating, Joe, but what does it have to do with the Forex? Has everything to do with the Forex, because these patterns, gang, aren't random. They're natural. And they're predictable. Want me to show you how? All right, here, let me show you how the tool works. Wait till you see this. It is awesome, okay? Check this out. We use the tool to measure the pattern. Let's just take this first one. We got A, B, C, D, right? Well, here, all you've got to do, right, to use this program is when you're looking at a chart, you've got to be able to find the low prices and the high prices like we did here, okay? You're gonna look for what's called the U-turns, okay? In the candlesticks, anytime you see the shape of the letter U, the bottom of it is a low price, all right? Anytime you see the candles make the shape of the letter U, all right? The bottom of that's a low price, all right? If you got an upside down letter U, check this out. See this here, like an upside down letter U shape? The top of that is a high price. You see this? The top of that is a high price. So if you can find the U-turns, all right, all you got to do is give them a label and you'll be able to find the pattern. Now you got to get down to measuring it. Okay, so what do? Well, you come up here to this square, follow along, okay? You come up here to this square that says Fibonacci tools, you click on it. When you do, a menu drops down, okay? The first thing you see on the menu is the MTI, that's us, Fibonacci tool. You click on that, watch what happens to your cursor, okay? It turns into a pen. What you do to use the tool is you take your pen and you simply draw a line from A to B on the pattern. Now, what just happened here? What just happened is, all right, the Fibonacci sequence just appeared right on your desk. There it is, okay? Looks like a step ladder, okay? It's color coded. Now, what is it doing? It's measuring the first leg of the pattern from A to B. But what happened when you got to B? All right, you can see it right here. What happened when you got to B is the market stopped going up, right? And what ended up happening, hold on, right? The market retraced all the way down here to a low price, and then it made another U-turn. That low price, you got to give it a label. That's letter C, okay? Low price A, high price B. Now you found low price C. And what you have to do to be able to use this tool is notice where letter C is, all right, relative to this tool that you're using. What do I mean? Well, look, you see how the market came down to this low price? You see how that lines up with this red Fibonacci number? You see that? That is going to be significant. Why? Let me tell you. I'll type it on the screen. Why? Because some people call these Fibonacci numbers energy levels. Okay, I call them something just a little different. I call them trampolines because of the way they act on the price of the currency. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, the market went from A to B and then it pulled back down here to letter C. Okay, what happened when it got to letter C? The market stopped going down because it bumped into this red Fibonacci number, this energy level, this trampoline. Okay, now what happens when you jump on a trampoline? You go bouncing off in the other direction, right? Well, look what happened. When the market came down to this trampoline, boom, it went bouncing off in the other direction. It got energy to the upside. In other words, what? Gang, this market's got energy and it's going up. Now you can see that with your own eyes. But here's the thing, okay? That alone would be major information to help you as a trader. If you knew there was energy pushing the market higher, okay, that would be a huge advantage for you. But the tool goes a step further than just telling you which way you're going, okay? It'll actually tell you how far you're gonna go. Now, how does it do that? It's very simple. All you've got to do to figure out how far the market's gonna go, watch this, is you've got to match the color of your trampoline down here, all right, with the same color up here. That's how the tool works, all right? In this particular case, the market came down to this low price, letter C, and bounced off this red Fibonacci line, this red trampoline. Well, the way this works is to know how far the market's going, all you got to do is match the color of your trampoline here with the same color up here. In other words, this market's going up, and it's not going to stop until it gets all the way up here to this red line, this red price. That's how the tool works, okay? Now, when's it gonna get there? Well, sometime in the future. Once you recognize, right, where the pattern is, it'll tell you where you're going. And take a look, that's exactly where you went. That's where the end of the pattern is, all right? That's letter D. That's not an accident. The market bounced off a red trampoline. It kept going up until it got to this red price. What happened there? We completed the pattern. We completed the ABCD. Now, if you can see that, just type the letter Y in the chat box. All right, don't worry. I'm going to do it a couple of times, but I want to know if you're following along. Okay, type the letter Y in the chat box if you can see that, because the key is this. The key to using this, all right, is to be able to find where letter C is. Where the heck is letter C? What do I mean? Well, we're going to see examples, all right, where the market goes from A to B and then it pulls back. Now, in this case, it pulled back to the red trampoline, but what if it had come down to the blue line before making a U-turn? Well, that means letter C suddenly would be down here at the blue trampoline, which means the market would go up, but it would only go up to this blue line. That's where it would end the sequence, that natural pattern, all right? It's the same thing. You probably already figured it out with the green one. If the market came all the way down here before making the U-turn, lined up with this green Fibonacci number, all right, the market would go up, but only to the green line. So maybe in your notes, good, you're following me. Look at all my Ys, good, 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 all right? Write this in your notes. The way the tool works, just keep it simple. Red goes to red, blue goes to blue, green goes to green, okay? That's how it works. Now, you can see, right, that it sure looks like it works. Listen, when I first saw this, I was on the edge of my seat. When I first saw Josh draw one of these out, and I saw that it went right to the red line, right, that's where I really started paying attention. But what did I say to myself? Anybody can show me something that works once. Anybody can show me that, right? You said the thing works over and over and over again. So show me that it works on the next one. Okay, watch. Now that you know the functions, all right, this will be easy for you. We found the sequence, right? We got letter A, high price, okay? We got letter B, low price. Then the market rallied to C. Now watch this, okay? In order to find where the sequence ends, what we do is we come up and get our Fibonacci tool and we draw the line from A to B, just like we did a minute ago, all right? What happened here? The market rallied nice and strong up to this high price, which is where? it's lined up with this red trampoline. You see that? You see how it's linear, right? That's the mathematics of the universe, gang. It has everything to do with the natural order of things. It's really cool. And you're like, I don't care how cool it is. Show me that it works. Okay, if I bounce off the red trampoline, if what I'm telling you holds water, then this should go where? Not only should it go down, but it should keep going down until it hits this red line. Red goes to red, and look, that's exactly what happens. Why? Because this is not random. It's a Fibonacci sequence, A, B, C, D. So now you've seen what? It works once in the up direction, it works once in the down direction, and it works repeatedly. So now what? Well, now you got to use it to your advantage. Now you've got to use this to your advantage, because what do you have? Anytime you pull this up, you're going to see pattern, okay? Once you identify the pattern, watch how you use it to your advantage, okay? This sequence here, it's over. That's a history lesson. Let's use the pattern that's staring us right in the face to see if this works. I've got a low price. It's easy to spot, letter A. I've got a high price. It's easy to spot, letter B. Now what? Now I've got the market doing what? Pulling back down to a low price. There it is, okay? And what's it doing now? The market's bouncing, okay? Some of you that are a little more sophisticated, not only am I bouncing with that U-turn, I got me a nice bullish candle, right? So what am I telling you here? Well, if I got a market that's bouncing, all right, what I got to find out is it done? Is it done going up? Well, if you didn't have this tool, you wouldn't know what it was bouncing off of. But since you do have the tool, just go get it. Go get the tool, draw your line from A to B. All right, and what's going to happen is the fresh sequence, the current sequence is going to appear right on your screen. Now let's use this to our advantage. Can we? Here, let me make sure that it's accurate, right? I don't want to overstate anything. All right, but take a look. The market has pulled back down to this low price. Now, where is that? It lines up, right, with the red trampoline. So what does it mean? Well, it looks like the market's going up. You can see that with your own eyes, all right, but it's not done. It's not done until what? According to this, till it gets to this red trampoline. That's where letter D is. Now, you're not there yet, all right, so let's not call that D. Let's call that future D. That's where we are going, if this works. If this works. All right, well, what's it going to be worth? Let's talk money, because that's why you're here. Let's talk about that. What is this going to be worth? Well, let's see what my current price is. 71.81. You see that? Let me write that down. 71.81 is my current exchange rate. What's my future exchange rate? 74 even, right? 74.00. So what's the difference? Let me make sure you can see that. 74.00. All right, so what's the difference between these two? Get my little calculator out here. 74, 71.81. That's a difference of 219 pips. Write that down. 219 pips. Okay. Now, what did I tell you at the beginning? You're going to trade this based on how confident you are. All right. How confident you are is going to determine, right, how big you're going to trade this. Now, if you've never seen this before, maybe you're not too confident yet. So you sit this one out and you let me do it a couple of times. The more you see it, the more you'll be confident in it working. Okay. But I mean, I've shown you, right, at least a couple of examples of it working. So at this point, I got to believe that you'd be willing to do a micro lot trade. You got a $20 bill, put it to the test. Because why? On a micro lot, okay, that's a $20 trade. But if it works the way I'm telling you, each of those pips will be worth 10 cents of profit. Okay, you'll get your $20 back plus $21.90. That wouldn't be too bad, right? If you did it as a mini lot, $1 a pip. Right? Now you're talking about making $219. Why did I tell you want to trade lots of currency, standard lots? Because, gang, when you trade standard lots, okay, you already wrote this in your notes. That's $10 a pip. All right, so we're about to have on a standard lot almost a $2,200 conversation. All right, I don't care how you slice it. That's 110% on your money. Okay, and we're not talking about making that in a year. We're not talking about making it in a month. This is a day chart. Okay, this is better than whatever you're doing in your mutual funds. You understand? If it works. So how do I show you that it works? It couldn't be easier, right? All I got to do is go forward in time and you'll see it. Look at what happens as I go forward in time. Okay, the market keeps on bouncing. All right, what's it doing? It's bouncing off of that trampoline. All right, it's got energy to the upside. Now it doesn't go straight up. They never do. But what happens is it makes higher lows and higher highs on its way to what? Well, if it works, it should hit this red line. Right? Take a look at what happens. On the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th day, it goes right up and it kisses that line. Okay? That's not a mistake. That is the end of the sequence. And had you done this trade, right? I don't care how you do it. You decide how comfortable you are, okay? You made 219 pips, but do me a favor, all right? If you recognize where you're gonna buy it because you see there's energy to the upside, once you get to the end of the sequence, do me a favor, you gotta sell it. Buy low, sell high is the name of the game. And the reason you sell it here is why? Well, you can already see it on the screen. At the end of the sequence, the market changes direction. At the end of the sequence, the market changes direction. So we're at the end of the sequence. What's going to happen? Well, if the market changes direction, it's on its way down. Ho, ho, what just happened there? Listen, if you didn't have this, if you didn't know this, okay, you wouldn't know this was coming. And what would have just happened to you? You would have just given back all that profit and then some, okay? But because you saw the end of the sequence, boom, you booked your profit. And now what do? You wait for the next sequence. Is it any surprise what it looks like? All that comes next, gang, is A, B, C, D. Do you see that? That's how this works. That's how you get to do this over and over. Traders want stuff that works consistently and a formula. Well, you know what? What's a formula? Something that works over and over. It's because of the way this market works. It is awesome. Somebody just typed awesome. It is. Okay, and for some of you, listen, this was just worth every minute of your time for being here today. All right, for some of you, learning what I just showed you is going to change your life, because now what? Now the chart is coming alive. It looks totally different and you can take advantage of it. That is the key. All right, you know why I'm enthusiastic about it? Because I know you can do this. And here's the beauty of it. All right, this works. It works in all the currencies. Okay, it works in all the time frames. Okay, and the best part is this is measurable using the tool. It's repeatable, so you can do it over and over again. But what's the key word? It's predictable. You got it? It is awesome. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go just one step further. Now I gotta turn you into a trader. You just did the hardest part. So let me get you talking like a trader, okay? Because when you come into our trading room, you're gonna hear some of the same things over and over again. So do me a favor, now that you know how to use this, let's go find some trades, all right? Then I'll show you target trading. Wait till you see that. Okay, that is just ridiculous awesome. All right, and we got just a little bit of time left, so I got to take you through this. But now that you know, right, what you're looking for, write down these 5 words on your on the screen: support and resistance. All right, breakout, sequence, and repeat. All right, this is the rest of the formula: support and resistance, breakout, sequence, and repeat. All right, let me walk you through this. It's not hard. Whenever you see a chart, all right, you come into our trading room and we'll do this for the first couple of run-throughs with you, but pretty soon you're gonna be able to pull everything I show you off, no problem. You gotta bring the chart to life so that it can help you, okay? The chart has to help you. Where are we going? When do I get in? When do I get out? All right, first thing we always do is we find the trend. All right, now drawing trend lines, something most of you have probably done. If you haven't, right, you're not quite sure how, listen, there's a tool built in that'll draw them for you. All right, tool built right in here called the Smart Trend Line. Watch this. When I click on that, all right, my cursor turns into a pen, right? Let me just go find a high price and click on it. Watch this. Ah, wrong one, wrong line. I got to click on the highest price. Where is that? Light up, bang, there is a trend line. Okay, now what makes this trend line so good? Well, you can see that it's very reliable, right? Every time the market comes up to this trend line, what happens? Right? Market approaches the trend line, then it sells off, right? Comes up, sells off, comes up, sells off, tries to approach, sells off. You see that? The trend line is acting like a ceiling on my currency, okay? Market's trying to push higher, the ceiling is pushing back. Well, that's called resistance, right? Well, that makes sense. I know it does, but I'm teaching you this so that you can talk like a trader, right? Impress your friends and so forth, okay? The opposite of resistance is support. All right, what does that look like? Well, if resistance is a floor, look at support is a ceiling, or excuse me, if resistance is a ceiling, support is a floor. You see this? When the market comes down to the floor, it bounces up. When the market comes down to the floor, it bounces up. So that's called support. Simple. All right, so now you got resistance and you've got support. Great. What is the most important thing on this screen? I'm going to show you. You got to pay attention to this because this is where money is made. The most important thing on this screen, gang, is right here. You see this? Why is that so important? Let me explain. All right, we're going to highlight that just a little bit. What happened here? The market, right, whenever it approached this ceiling, right, it would sell off. It would approach, sell off again. But what happened right here? Instead of selling off, right, the market broke through. It broke through the ceiling. That is called, you got to write this in your notes, a breakout. That is a breakout. This is important. I don't care how you have to highlight it on your paper. You've got to be able to recognize where trend lines are broken, where the market breaks out, because this is where money is made. When you see a breakout, you've got to spring into action, okay? Whenever you pull up your charts, you might not see a breakout. If you bring up your charts today, you might not see one, all right? But when you do, you've got to be ready, all right? To do what? To use that sequence that I showed you, that ABCD thing. Now, what do I mean? Well, let me show this to you, okay? You've got to be able to find the sequence and use it to your advantage. How do you do it? Let me just show you, all right? You start with a low price. Now watch, you'll be able to find this, right? You go to a high price. Then what happens? The market dips back down to a low price. Well, that's that ABC thing, right? How do you find the end of the sequence? You go get your Fibonacci tool. You draw the line from A to B. This should be pretty simple, okay? You see that the market has done what? Come down and bounced off a red trampoline. So what should happen? Shouldn't it go from red to red? Look what happens. It does it. A, B, C, D. If you can see that, okay, type the word me in the chat box, because you've just found yourself an opportunity. Now, some of you might say, well, wait, Will, how's that an opportunity? It's over, right? If it already came to letter D, right, I can see it. If you can, type me in the chat box, okay? But how is that an opportunity if it's already over with, right? You're frustrated. Don't be. You know why? Because what does the market do? The market, gang, repeats itself. That is the last word of the sequence. All right, of the formula. We did support and resistance, we did breakout and ABCD. Now it's time for the market to repeat itself. And this is where you profit. You've confirmed that the market's going up. You've confirmed that it's changed direction. Watch what you do, okay? All you do is you take advantage of what's on the screen, all right? You roll your energy forward. We'll teach you how to do this. The old C becomes the new A, all right? And the old D, that becomes the new B. Now watch what happens. You draw your line from A to B. There it is, okay? New sequence. What happened? The market has pulled back down to a low price, and now it's making a U-turn, okay? So that's gonna be letter C. What do we know? The market has come down to a red trampoline, right? For my more sophisticated people, the 382, the red trampoline, and now we're bouncing. And we're not done, right? Until we get where? Well, if this works the way that I'm telling you, we're going up to that red line. So what do you have to do at this point? Well, it couldn't be much simpler. You can see it. You've identified the opportunity, okay? How much is it gonna be worth? Well, if my current price is 139.56 and I'm going up to 141.93, that's even better than the last one. That's 237 pips. 237 pips. Don't tell me you can't do a micro lot trade with this. $20. Worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to lose your 20 bucks. Best thing that's going to happen is you're going to make 237 pips. Now, some of you are like, yeah, I could probably do that, but here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't want you to put your whole investment on the line. You're never going to do that. That doesn't make any sense. That's called bad trading, all right? A good trader recognizes opportunity, but they also have to do what? You got to protect your downside. Let me show you how. Right? Couldn't be much easier. You're ready to buy the currency, right? What are you going to do? You're going to go to the trading button. You're going to look for the big green one, okay? It's going to be connected to your brokerage account, which links right up to the software. You're going to decide 10 cents, $1, $10 a pip. That's going to be your part. But at the very same moment, all right, you go to buy something, you've got to protect your downside too. Because why? Because what happens if it goes the other way, right? What do you want it to do? Fall off a cliff? No, no, no. You want to place an order right below the market to protect yourself. It's called a stop order. Write it down. Some of you know what this is. Let me just get the new people caught up, right? A stop order builds a floor under your trade. So that what? So your downside is protected. And here's the beauty of this market, all right? Because it is so liquid and it trades through every price and it's open 24 hours, unlike the stock market where there's all these gaps, right, of time and price, and maybe your stop gets hit and maybe it doesn't. In this market, gang, stops are automatic. You're protected automatically. You know what it looks like? You're building a floor. Here, I'll keep it simple. There it is. You built a floor. Now the worst that can happen is if the market goes against you, comes down to your floor, you're out, protects the rest of your account. Now, I don't want you to put a floor in just arbitrarily. I want you to put a floor in the best possible place. Because why? Because we're all pretty conservative, I think, when it comes to our money, okay? 90% of the people here are conservative traders. So you know where I want to put your floor? Here. I want you to put it right at letter C. C for conservative, okay? What's a conservative trader want to do? They want to risk as little as possible, okay, to make as much as possible. So you're going to risk a little bit. That just makes sense, right? But you're going to put your stop at letter C so you don't risk any more than you have to. All right, that's a good looking trade. You're protected. So now what do? Well, now you go forward in time, right? And you let the trade work itself out. Where's it going? Well, it sure looks like it's making higher lows and higher highs until when? Until it gets to the end of the sequence. Take a look, gang. That's A, B, C, D. And once you find D, how long did it take? This was a 2-hour chart. So this took you how long? 29 times. It took you 2 days to make 227 pips. All right, you do that on a one lot, you made $2 grand. Is that any good? Does that work for you? If I can show you how to do that repeatedly, would you take a couple of grand every couple of days? Because that's what traders do. That's what you're here to do. You're not here to nickel and dime, okay? You're not here to have this as a hobby, all right? Too many people excuse the fact that they're failing, right? And oh, it's just a hobby of mine. That's nonsense. All right, you're not spending 7 hours at Investor Inspiration today because this is a hobby. This is something you want to do well at. You want to kick some tail at because you want to buy a Porsche or you want to buy your wife something nice from the department store. Okay, this is how I've made my living for years, and I have fun showing it to people because this works. You want to know how often it works? It works over and over and over again. Look, this is now what you can see. This is A, B, C, D. You want to see how often it works? Watch this. I can show you that with one click of the mouse, the smart tool. Watch. When I click on the smart Fibonacci tool, there's my pen again. Let me just find a low price so you can see this works over and over and over and over again. All right, do it as many times as you need to be confident. Paper trade, holy cow, this works. Micro lot, my God, I should be doing this a little bigger. It sure looks like it works. And then you keep doing it. All right, and what you're going to do eventually, all right, is you're going to come up to real time and you're going to find yourself some opportunity. This is real time. You want your first trade? I'll give it to you. All right, I found this one this morning and I'll tell you what, it's a good one. Okay, what do we got here? We got a breakout. What do we got? We got an A and a B. What happened next? The market went to C. That's the low price. Okay, what happened? The market, gang, bounced off a red and it completed the sequence. Are you really going to tell me that that's a mistake? Are you really going to tell me that that is some kind of an accident and that it just keeps happening, right? This is how it works. And what do you got here? You got yourself an opportunity to make some money right now. What do? Just get the smart tool out. You don't have to be an expert. Click on the low price. It'll draw the sequence for you. You got the market bouncing off of what? Man, it's been moving since I've been on the webinar. I wish I had shown you this a half hour ago. We'd already be up 25 pips. But the fact of the matter is, right, we're not done till we get to here. 151.32. I'm at 149.25. That's 200 pips. 200 pips worth of opportunity, right? That's a pretty good looking trade. For your first one, do it. All right, as a micro lot, put your stop in at letter C. So now what? Now you're risking that, okay? You're risking that to make that. Are you kidding me? All right, that's why you came here today. That's what we do here, okay? Think about what you've gotten from me in an hour, all right? When do you become a member of our group? All right, this is awesome. This is where it's at. This works, doesn't matter what currency you're looking at, okay? But now it actually gets better. And then some of you are like, well, how do I get that tool on my desk? You don't have to wait for me. Okay, if you're saying I want to try it, no problem. All right, what I need you to do, all right, is type your number in the chat box, a phone number, a good way to reach you, because as soon as we break, right, I'll call you. All right, one of my traders will call you. All right, we'll dot I's, we'll cross T's, we'll get this download link out to you, get your username and password so you can try this and test it and make sure it works. Okay, before you got to make any final decision on if you want to keep it or not, all right, you're going to get to see that it works on your own desk. All right, what you're going to do couldn't be any easier. Pull up a currency. Okay, find your breakout. You got another one right here, the pound New Zealand. I mean, write that one down. Okay, what do you got? You got another opportunity, low price. There, it drew it for you. We're bouncing. Look, don't be late. Okay, because we're almost at the red line on this one, different currency, right? But it's still ABCD. Now, if that made sense to you and you're close, listen. All right, I know some of you are excited. I know some of you have been doing Fibonacci's for a while. If you haven't and you want to learn this with us, look, you get this on your desk, you'll have it in your back pocket in no time. I turned you into a trader today, period. Okay, you're not going to just impress your friends with this. Your account's going to get bigger because of the time you spent. End of statement. Okay, and it might take you maybe 60 days to get this in your back pocket. Some of you have already said it, right? Sign me up. Good. All right, you want to get started? That's great. But I've got a way for you to cut the time down. What do you mean? I know you don't want to wait 2 months to start making money at this. Okay, well, target trading is going to cut this time down to nothing. You can start doing it today, right, with confidence. Why? Because it simplifies everything. What do you mean? Look at this is going to take you 5 minutes to learn. Okay, I've just bear with me for another 5 minutes. Okay, because if you can do that, I can show you how to target trade. Here's your whole schedule. You don't have to go through a big training process or any other nonsense. Just open your charts at 5 o'clock. Okay, what's going to happen is a target is going to appear on the screen. The program is going to do all the work. It's going to read all the patterns and it's going to show you a target. Your job, couldn't be any easier, is going to be to trade to the target. The hit rate on this is incredible. Okay, and when I say incredible, I almost don't even want to put it up on the screen because it's better for me to, instead of telling you, it's better for me to show it to you. Okay, so let me do that. This is going to come with your program today. Now I got to go quickly because I'm losing time here, but wait till you see this. All right, here it is. Now I'm going to change the view a little bit. All right, look at, we had the red and, or excuse me, the blue and white candles before. Now I'm going to change this to a target trading view. It's just a little bit different. Okay, here, let me bring this one up. All right, this is the euro and the Australian. Now, instead of looking at candles that are blue and white, we're going to look at candles that are red and green. Okay, oh, red light, green light. Just stay with me. That's going to help you actually. Okay, and what I've done here, right, is I've just broken down, right, the chart into increments, into periods. Okay, this is 1 period, this is 2 periods, this is 3 periods. Okay, here's what you need to know. When you open, all right, your charts at 5 o'clock, right over here, this is 5 o'clock. Okay, and in fact, I'll show this to you on a weekly view, right, so that I know that everybody can do that. Then I'll show you how to day trade with it. All right, let's just call this 5 o'clock Sunday. Okay, everybody, you're going to open your charts at 5 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday. What's going to happen? Okay, what's going to happen is a target is going to appear. Okay, what's it look like? Right here. See this? That's a target. All right, the target appears on your screen, and once it appears, it doesn't move. It's static. Your job, and it's embarrassing how easy this is, right, is going to be to trade to the target. Okay, if the target is below the market, you trade down to it. If the target is above the market, you trade up to it. Now, what's that going to be worth? Well, check it out. Check it out. Okay, I can measure that. Okay, using this tool right here. If I open my charts at 5 o'clock and my target appears and I got to trade down to it and it works, I'm going to make 91 pips on this. 91 pips. Okay, if it works. Now, the fact of the matter is, if I do that as a 1-lot trade, $10 a pip, this would be worth $910. So certainly worth listening to. Okay, what do you want to see? I don't have to waste a lot of time. I'll just show you that it works. All right, do I have any clues on the screen that it works? Well, look, here was a target, not a very big one, but the target got hit. Right, here's another target right here, pretty decent size. That target got hit. So I've got a little information here that gives me confidence. Let's just see if it works on this one. As I go forward in time, look what happens. Look what happens. The market moves down to the target. Now let's measure that quick. Okay, when I measure that, check it out. Okay, with absolutely zero sophistication, I just saw the 5 o'clock target and I traded down to it. It took me 17 hours, right, to make those pips. Now that's not too shabby. Okay, if the target came out at 5 o'clock Sunday, that means by Monday morning I'm up $900. My week is pretty much done at that point. Well, you know what? Once you hit the target, that's the rule. You're done. Okay, because the target, listen, the target is taking advantage, all right, of the way these natural patterns work. This is not an accident. It's giving you the highest probability, all right, at the lowest risk. And once you hit the target, you're done, because at the target, the risk goes up. Okay, how often does it work? Let me just explain. Write it in your notes. 72% of the time, it hits the target. Target hit within 1 trading period. Okay, but if you're willing to wait just a little while, okay, On a target that doesn't get hit, you got an almost 90% hit rate within 7 periods. Okay. Now, best thing for me to do is to repeat it. Let me just keep showing it to you, right? Telling you stuff is pointless. Showing it to you is important. That's how you build confidence. You got to see it over and over again. So what do? Well, your trade is done. So now what do? You wait for Sunday at 5 o'clock. Market does its thing. Market does its thing. But look here, the very next Sunday, okay? It's 5 o'clock, okay? What happens? Watch. Boom, target appears. Again, not a very big target, but a target nonetheless. How much is that one worth? Let's see. That one's worth 50 pips, okay? Do this trade, you're talking about $500. Now, I want to make it just a little bit more sophisticated for you, all right? If you're the most boot green novice trader and all you do is trade to the target right when you see it, I'm telling you it's still going to work. But there's a way to do it just a fraction better, and I know you want to do it better. Here's what you do. You wait for the candle to point you in the right direction. What do you mean? Well, if the target is above the market, wait for the first green candle before you enter. Okay? If the target is below the market, wait for the first red candle before you enter. That's going to make it that much better. Okay? But if you don't want to confuse the issue, just trade to the darn target. Well, does that really work? Somebody said it can't be this easy. There's nothing easy about it. All right? It's taken into account all the Fibonacci's. All right, but the fact of the matter is, gang, it's easy for you to use. Just wait for that first green candle. Okay? What's happening here? The market's expanding. Okay, the market's expanding a little bit. All right, and the reason I want you to wait for that green candle so you don't jump the gun. But when that green candle approaches, then you're ready. You get into the market, and what happens? It actually improved your opportunity. All right, the green candle, even if I got the worst price, if this works, I'm going to make 72 pips. Okay, let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. Does it go and hit the target? Look at that. There it is, $720. Okay, then what do? You wait for next Sunday, and you do it all over again. All right, here's another one. What am I doing? I'm waiting for the red candle. There it is, right? How much is this one going to be worth? Let's see, 164 pips, okay? $1,600. Some of you got experience. This does not get you too excited, okay? But for a lot of you, $1,600 a week might be more than you ever made. Well, what you got to know is, does your stuff work? And are you confident with it? Get it on your desk, gang, because this one does. It is totally awesome. All right, and I can keep showing it to you, but you having it on your desk, all right, you having it where you can see it, you having it where you can do it in real time, that's going to be the key. All right, I can show you 160 pips, 70 pips, 90 pips. This is another, that's $4,000 right there. All right, that's one currency over 4 weeks. What did I tell you earlier? 3, 4, 5,000 a month. You can do it. I know you can. Okay, but here's the thing. Most of you don't just want to do something, right, once a week. If it works that good, how about I do it every day? Well, that's when you are going to take this to the next level, all right? Because this is weekly targets, but look at, I got daily targets. What do you mean? Well, if you're done trading the weekly target, if it hits within one period, if it hits by Monday, you still got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to trade. Well, that's when you're going to go target hunting, all right? You're going to go to your other currencies and you're going to look for targets, right, on a daily chart. Now, they're not going to be as big, but that just makes sense, right? A weekly target is generally going to be bigger based on bigger movements than a daily target. But how about this? How about I got a target, I got a green candle, and I got a chance to put 25 pips in my pocket? Okay, man, if that works, that's another $250. Correct. How do you know if it works? Gang, you just go forward in time. Okay, you go, wait, give me that. You go forward in time, you tell me. Did it hit the target? Of course it did. Just like it did here. That's a hit. 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 All right. What is the percentage? I told you, 72% of the time it hits within 1 day. But if you're willing to wait just a little while, even if your target gets missed, all right, it'll still hit almost 90% of the time. What do you mean? Well, look, this is a missed target right here. Any idiot can show you all the hits, and I know what you want, right? You want to know about this one that got missed, right? That's a missed target. What about that one? Well, look what happened, all right? We had the green line here. I'll bring this up. Look at, here's what I'll do, all right? We had the green candle, right? We were waiting for it to go to the target. It came close, but it didn't hit the target, right? If you had put in an order to get out when it hit the target, it missed it and boom, right? It went away from you. That's frustrating, right? Because now what? Now you're sitting, right, with a little red on your paper. Nobody likes that. But look, if you if you're willing to wait just a little while, look what happens, okay? The next day, target got hit. The next day's target got hit. And look what happens here. The third day, okay, look what happened. The market came and it picked up that target. It picked up the missed target. That's how this works, okay? Missed targets are, maybe they're better called unhit targets, because 89, almost 90% of the time, they get hit eventually. And when you see this work repeatedly, you got to get it on your desk and give it a shot. Okay, I trade with this. I traded with it this morning. I went target hunting. What did I tell you at the beginning, right? We got the call at 2:30 this morning, right? Your nephew's about to be born. Everybody has to pile into the hospital, right? Everybody's groggy, right? It's 2:30. Hey, right? 7 pounds, 11 ounces. You had a boy. Now everybody's visiting in the waiting room, right? Well, while everybody's talking, I just looked down on my phone because I got my Forex account on my phone. And what did I do? At 4 o'clock in the morning, I'll show this to you. All right, here it is at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? Today, right? I found the euro yen, okay, on the daily. What did I see? I saw a big fat red candle. So what did I do? I had myself a profit opportunity staring at me, all right? And I put on the trade. And what ended up happening didn't take me very long. Check it out, right? While I was in the waiting room, look what happened. Market continued to push until it came right down to the target, okay? And then it moved away. Well, guess what? I'm already out of the trade. Now, some of you might say, he didn't really do that one. Well, you know what I did? I brought up my trading account so I could show you that I did this one. The fact of the matter is, here it is. This is a real money trading account. This is this morning at 4 a.m. You understand this, right? What was I trading? The euro yen. This is my trade run from today using targets. Now, I'm not crushing it with every trade, but how does this look when it hit that nice big stem, $222, before I even got on the air with you? Okay, how does this one look? Another 80, another 50, another 60, right? I'm not trading big size, but I'm sure as heck consistent. This morning, how much money did you make? I made $600. You see that? Target trading. And how about this? The New Zealand Canadian, that's on here a couple of times too. Why did I trade that one? A, B, C, D. You want to see something else that's pretty cool, gang? My day's not done yet. What are you talking about? I got a trade in here. Hold on. I've got a trade in here. Where is it? Right? I got another $239 I haven't taken yet. Okay. This is what I'm doing today. I'm up almost $1,000 and it's 11:15. All right. You want to do this, you got to get it on your desk. I know it works. Now it's up to you to figure out that it does. So we can do that. All my tools will be included. All right. That target trading, I'm going to let you use it. All right. And I'll make sure you got a username and password so you can download this right on your desk. Okay. There's a tutorial built in. I know I went quickly. Renee's going to record our session so you can walk back through it again. You're going to have what you need to make it work. Okay, now normally what is it? Well, it's $249 a month. All right, but anybody that gets on this team today, you want to be a student of ours, I'll give you the software for 2 months for free. So you can try it out and test it out and make sure that it works, right? And make sure that it works for you. But here's what you got to do. Okay, you got to let me know. All right, if you're interested in this at all, what you got to do at this point, reserve a spot. All right, put your name and a good phone number to reach you, because as soon as we break, and we're going to break in just a couple minutes, all right, either myself or one of my traders here, one of my education specialists, we're going to follow up with you. All right, we're going to get this on your desk so that you can use it. Look, the performance is there. All right, good. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, William. Right. Thank you, Robert. Good. I got your numbers, guys. All right, good. And yeah, look, the most democratic way we can do this is to just take you in order. Okay, because I know that a ton of you are going to want to put this on your desk today. For some of you, you're like, that's the best thing I've ever seen. Well, the best part isn't the fancy part, it's the fact that it works. Okay, just this year, all right, our system has generated over 22,000 pips. Okay, $200,000 on a standard lot. You want to make 30,000 a month? This is how you do it. You start where you need to. I don't care if you're paper trading. I'm not going to judge you, but the more confident you get with this, gang, all right, the better you're going to do. People are literally throwing their account statements at us. Look at what I did, right? This guy says here, this is crazy. Target trading, baby. Yeah, you know he's excited. He made 3,000 pips, right? This person, a little newer, okay, but made 250 pips, target trading. Our Facebook page, literally, it just fills up every day. It is awesome. Look, there we go. That's another, right? I'm excited about the program, right? You would be too. So the fact of the matter is, all right, you got to get in the class, all right? Friday, right? We're going to launch this on Friday. Write this down, 10 a.m., okay? You're busy because we've set up a class for you that you're going to be involved in. It's going to be a webinar just like this one, all right? But the focus is going to be on the strategies, making sure that you have them and that you're set up for Sunday when the new targets come out on the weekly, okay? If you can't make it to that, don't worry about it. I will record the session for you, okay? But that's going to be your step. Last week, look, we netted 3,000 pips with this, all right? So you get in there before you have it on Sunday so you don't leave any money on the table. We're confident. All right, we're so confident this works, gang, that we're literally going to give you the whole thing. All right, risk-free for the next 60 days. This way, look, you don't have to take my word for it. Okay, you can get it on your desk today. You try it out, you test it out, you make sure it works, and then you decide if it's the right program for you. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, all right, the only person I know this that you're really going to trust is yourself. All right, all that we're going to ask you is to give this an honest effort. All right, so let's do this. Good, Manuel, I've got your phone number. Scott, I've got your phone number. Good. If you want more details on this, you want to get into this, do me a favor. All right, put your number in that chat box and let me go ahead and get you started. All right, the value of what you're getting today, you want to talk about an awesome system. All right, the value of this is through the roof. All right, it's a $10,000 program. I mean, if you go to my website, you'll see all those components. All right, you got the software, you got the training, you got all the education and mentorship. All right, imagine working with people like me for the next 60 days, all right? Helping you out to get this right, all right? At this level, it's unbelievable. And all that, the server, all right? All those things are built in and it's awesome. And you're like, you know what? Yeah, there's a lot of value there. Okay, and it is, all right? But here's the thing. You're gonna get all the value, all right? But it's not gonna cost you $10,000. All right, I got a couple of ways that you can get into the program. One of them, just listen carefully, one of them I know is gonna work for all of you, all right? The fact is, the first way you could get this is when we break today, you can always visit my website. All right, it's markettraders.com. You go to my website, we're ready to launch the program. If you want, you can see that we put it on the website, we bundled everything together, and we're offering it at a phenomenal value. All right, and anytime you want, 7 days a week, all right, start today, tomorrow, whatever, all right, you can get the program online for $39.95. We're going to have people that do that. There's no doubt about it. We're also going to have people that make that in their first week. Okay. And it is what it is. All right. So why did I put a big line through it? Because here's what we're going to do today at Investor Inspiration. All right. For those of you that are here, right, you're ready to get started. We're going to offer you a special. What we're going to do today, we're going to give every one of you, all right, a chance to come on board 100% risk-free. Okay, this is your final opportunity to do this for that Friday class. What we're doing today is we're taking 50% off, all right, the online retail, which means you can get started today for a one-time, and this is lifetime investment of $1,995, right? It's 50% off, right? The online price, it's a $2,000, right, haircut right off the top. And all you have to do at this point to get started is put your telephone number in the chat box. Okay, what I'm going to do, like I said, we're going to follow up with you as soon as we break. We're going to spend as much time with you as you need. All right, you got questions, we're going to get those answered. All right, we'll show you the warranty and then boom, you're off to the races. Okay, I think the only problem you're going to have with this is you didn't have the program, right, for the last 3-4 months and be able to get started with it back then. Now, I want you to understand, by putting in your phone number, okay, you're not committing yourself. You're not locking yourself in. All right, what you're doing is you're going to give yourself what's called the first right of refusal. All right, you're going to reserve a spot in line. Okay, we're going to have a discussion. All right, and good, Teresa, I've got your number. All right, and Thomas, I've got yours. You're going to reserve that spot. We're going to have a conversation and see if this is a good fit. After we talk, if you decide you're going to give it a shot, well, guess what? You get the spot. Okay, if you decide, you know what, it's not for me, there's no loss. Okay, we're just going to free up that seat for the next person in line. Does that make sense? So by putting your phone number in, you're reserving that spot. Now what you're seeing, this is not going to be offered after today, all right? And we limit this because that's the best way to be effective, all right? If you're going to do this, we're going to give you that personal attention, All right, so once those seats are full, that's going to be the end of it. So here's what you need to do. All right, as we wrap up, if you've got any interest in this at all, just put your phone number in the chat box, get in line for the conversation. All right, if you're thinking, well, I don't have the money, well, look, I've got monthly payment plans available. All right, you know what that means? If you can't fit $19.95 on your credit card, but you can put a little something down and get your foot in the door, I can get you started. Right? If you got $249, gang, if you can put together $249, I'll get this whole thing on your desk today, right? All of that, and then you can pay off the rest of this as you go. Okay? So either way, all right, just put a number in and you'll be able to say yes or no. So good. Robert, Richard, Eric, Sebastian, Anna, Enrique, I've got your number. Juan Felice, I've got your number. Bill, right? John, I've got your number. Yes, 907 is David, right? Thalani, right? Call me, William. All right. Guys, I got to wrap it up, right? They're giving me the bell, but I'm going to tell you what, anybody that gets started today, listen, I'm going to do better for you than a couple of months with the program. What do I mean? All right, let me give you a couple of bonuses so that you have every possible tool to be successful at this, okay? Instead of 2 months of the software, here's what we're going to do, right? Going to give it to you for 6 months. Going to give it to you literally for till the end of the year. So you have all the time you need, okay, to be successful at this. I know some of you are going to start with a practice account. You need a little time to get comfortable. That's okay. You got it. All right. I don't want you worried about $249 a month. I'll cover that till the end of the year. I want you worried about learning how target trading works. Okay. And seeing it work on your own computer. All right. And since I'm doing the software for 6 months, how about we work with you for 6 months? All right. We're the leader in the industry for a reason. Okay. And you can come and trade with us twice a week, right? For 6 months. We'll hold your hand, literally, okay, to make sure that you're successful at this. Audrey, I've got your number. Good. Sean, I've got yours. Enoch, all right, thank you very much. Next, all right, the last thing, you're going to meet with Josh, right, Thursday night at 7. But if you want this week's targets, Gary's going to give them to you Friday morning. That's going to be a bonus session, all right? If you can't make it, look it, I'll record it, okay? But this is a big deal. Why? Last week, look at our students here, Dan Riggs, right? He came to this same webinar. He got the program. He went in, okay, on Fridays, and he kind of keeps everybody up to date, right? Week after week. He was one of our newest students. Look how he's doing. Week 12, right? 6,000 pips in a week, okay? 12 weeks of doing this, he's made 73,000 pips. He even says some of my family members are starting to notice. You're darn right. So you get into this, and I'll get you into that 10 o'clock session. That's a bonus. A bunch of you have already decided that you're doing this, and that is awesome. It's a lot of fun. All right, I'm doing it. And the fact of the matter is, I know you can do it too. So with that, all right, you got a couple of ways to do this. Let me just spell them out. All right. You decide which one's the best one for you. I know some of you want to do a payment plan, okay? I know some of you are going to be okay with a one-time payment, all right? If you're leaning towards a one-time payment, all right, here's what I need you to do. In the chat box, all right, I need you to type the letter A, okay? What you're going to do, you're going to qualify for that awesome discount, right? You save $2,000 today, all right? And if you do it as a letter A, if you can do this as a one-time payment, I'll even extend your charts another 3 months. Okay, so understand that that is probably the best way to do it. That's great value. Now, if you need some flexibility, all right, you're going to be in option B. Now, what does that mean? That means if you can put together $249, gang, I'll get you started. Now, you got to understand, okay, with option B, you get the online bundle price. Okay, so the fact of the matter is, I'm trying to help you find a foot in the door. But like I said, $249 will get you started. And here's the thing. Whether you're option A or option B, right, whichever one you're leaning towards, I want you to type that in the chat box. But either way you do this, you got 60 days, all right, before you have to make any kind of final decision, all right? This says use it. Don't do it for 10 days. Don't go do it solo for 2 weeks. You come and do it with us, okay? You come and do it with us and use the program every day for the next 60 days. Get out there, learn all you can, make all the pips that you can. Okay, and at the end of 60 days, that's when you're going to make a final call on this. Okay, it's going to be an easy one as far as I'm concerned. If you see that it works, okay, if it works half as good as I said, what are you going to do? You're going to keep it. Okay, you're going to be like, you know what? I've been looking for this. It works. I've been looking for something that works for years. Well, guess what? You found it, but you're going to know that yourself because you're going to see it over the next 60 days. Now, if after 60 days, listen, whether you do this as an A or a B, doesn't matter to me, okay? If after 60 days, you say to yourself, you know what, I like it, but it's just not for me, right? Well, it's okay, because what our warranty says is we will refund every penny that you paid for the program just for trying it out, all right? What am I trying to tell you? Your downside when it comes to this is zip, okay? Your upside is phenomenal and good. Wow, Tom and Mauricio, perfect, I got your number. Javier, I've got yours too. All right, look, this warrant, we're the only company that does this, okay? It's so each of you has every opportunity to make sure that this works. I mean, the worst that's gonna happen, everyone says, what's the worst that can happen? Well, the worst that happens is you get a full Forex education out of it, all right? You come and work with us. Look at what you learned from me in an hour and a half, all right? When you come work with us, you come trade with us, you're gonna have this thing in your back pocket. So write down the dates, all right? There are still some seats left in this class, and those of you that are getting started today, all right, you're going to be in that class. And if you want, you can bring your spouse, you bring your neighbor, okay? You bring your business partner, you bring your brother-in-law, you bring your kids. You want to teach your kids how to do something, right? Everybody says, just show me how to make some money. Well, how about you bring them to this, show them how to trade. That way, when they leave the house, right, when they're 18, they don't go moving back in because now they got a way to make some income. You see what I mean? You want to see what you can accomplish in 60 days? Look at, this is what our students have done, okay? Third-party verified, 60 days. Over 1 million pips, okay? That's our worldwide group, okay? $12 million, you don't think that makes us feel pretty good? That's the last 60 days, all right? So you're lining up for the next 60 days. This is the real deal, okay? So one last time, it's either option A, right, or it's option B, all right? And we'll be there with you the whole way, okay? And it's time for me to wrap this up. Here's what I'm gonna do. Some of you wanna guarantee yourself a seat in the class, write down this phone number, right? Joe, I want to make sure to get one, or, you know, can I just call you? Some of you didn't put your number in because you're shy. Then write down this number, okay? But let's have that conversation, because if you write down this number and you call in, here's what I'll do. I'll guarantee you a spot in the class. I'll guarantee you a spot in Gary's session Friday, and all right, I'll give you an extra 3 months of charts. Really? Yeah, you're going to save us some time. Right? Time's money. So I'll make it worth your while. Write that down. And if you're going to call me, just let me know that. All right? If you're going to call in, all right, let me know, because I'm going to write down, right, the bonus next to your name right here. Okay? And that'll guarantee you a spot in the class. I'll limit that to 5 of you, 5 of my most serious people. And last but not least, all right, this is for everybody else. Those of you that are getting started, awesome. But there's some of you that haven't put in your number yet. Why not? Well, I know one of the reasons, all right? And it's not because what I showed you today doesn't work, right? I showed you that even I'm doing it, okay? It's not that you can't do it, because mechanically I gave you all the buttons, all right? So it works, you can do it. What's keeping you? Well, the only thing I can think of that's a big hurdle for some people is the money part. Well, here's what I'm gonna tell you, okay? I got a way you can get this for less, but I've only got now, instead of 2 minutes, I got 1 minute. So you gotta react to this, all right? For those of you that money is kind of a stumbling block, well, I'm gonna take care of that. Because why? Because I got a way you can get this for less, okay? Well, how much less? Well, what if it was free? If it was free, would that kind of get you off the fence? Because if it would, I want you to type your phone number in the chat box, all right? Now, I know what you're thinking. A minute ago it was $2,000, right? Now it's free. Listen, all right? I can help you with the money part. If you're serious about this, don't go wasting our time, please, okay? With what I gave you today, I didn't waste your time. So you can't waste time. If you're serious about doing this, if you're the type of person that will show up, right, learn the program, go make some pips with it, go tell a few friends about it, that's the kind of person this is for, okay? Because through my referral program or my tuition reimbursement program, I can get you this for free. But you've got to let me know that you're serious, okay? If you are, I'll give you 1 more minute. Type in, right, your number and put the word free after it, right? First 10 of you, I'll put you in line for that conversation. So with that, here's your options, right? We'll do 1 more minute because I got somebody else holding who's also, right, got an awesome presentation. Just take a look at this here. All right, we'll go 1 more minute. I appreciate the 1 minute, but I mean it when I say 1 minute, all right? Let me know which way you're thinking. If you want that awesome discount, perfect. I'll give you charts till the end of the year and then some. Okay, if you want to get started, look, $249, gang. Where are you going to get anything even close to this for $249? Okay, you got 2 months to decide on it. You can't possibly learn anything. You could barely get a library book for that. Now you're going to get a whole team of experts helping you. Okay, that's option B. And the last one, I mean, that's got to be everybody, right? Free. Come on, don't log out. Don't let these embers, these awesome embers, right, flame out. Build this fire. There's no better way to make a living than trading. There's no better way, right? I showed you. I'm at the hospital with my nephew's being born, and I made $600 this morning, okay? And I'm not done. You can do this. Come do it with me, all right? We'll do it with you. Come on, let's go make some money.